Live now. Let's see. Mobile Tech looks comfy. Yeah, it's real comfy in here. It's been pretty cold today because we've got a storm that was been hitting off and on. And then we got another round coming in here now, and the winds have really picked up. And the wind chill's probably in the teens, I would say. The actual temperatures are hovering right around like 27, 28. But tomorrow we're going to have things really fall a lot further down the temperature scale. Tomorrow night I think it's supposed to be 7 degrees and a wind chill of -10, and then throughout the rest of the week, it's kind of like cold like that. So it's like there was some warmer weather, and now it looks like it's kind of dropping off a cliff for the rest of the winter. And I don't know if you guys are following the weather forecast, but it looks like there's a bunch of snow that's headed this way for the southwest, the Rockies, Pacific Northwest, and then also just like the Midwest. I think by the second week of January. So hopefully, we'll get some good stuff here, and we'll be good to go. So, what's up, Victor Debs? What's up, Walking with Wildlife? Good evening back at you. We got Meadow over here. She's just chilling over by the bed. Oops, let me grab a paper towel real quick so I can clean off the lens. I didn't realize that we had some stuff back here, so hang on one sec. I'll flip this around, and that way you can look at me while I clean the lens in the back here. Hang on one second. All right, let's see what do we got here. We got Dave's Camping Adventures. What's going on? We got Greg in the house. What's up? Fly Fishing Nomad. All the fuzzy face guy. You're here for the dog. Alamy, what's going on? Let's see, Brian, are you worried about wind chills? Oh, no, not at all. Just because I've also got my diesel heater with me. And so if needed, if for some reason the stove isn't sufficient enough, which it should be, then we've got a secondary power or heat source, and I can run that in conjunction with the stove and be just fine. But with I have had a night in here. The coldest night I ever had was -35 degrees, and it was cold if you weren't around the stove, but if you were chilling next to the stove, then it was fine. So I'm not really concerned about it. And then a big thing is with these tents, if you have the tent just set up by itself without like a vestibule area for where your entrance is to your structure, then it'll definitely be a lot colder. But if you have a vestibule on like what I have, that creates like a buffer for the entrance, because that door, it's not as airtight as like this back here, and that's not airtight, but that's a lot more sealed. So you do get leakage coming in from the front door, but with the vestibule on there, it's like a buffer. So it's kind of like insulation, so you don't get as much cold air coming in on the front. So hang on here, we had a few comments here. See, chop more wood. I've already got the wood chopped up. What's up, Mike? How's it going? Nicholas, let's see, hopefully being in Colorado, you bring the Broncos some good luck this weekend. Yeah, unfortunately they lost. Was the game yesterday or? Yeah, yesterday. I was disappointed, man. Going into overtime and all that stuff, and Bo Nix has really stepped up. He's doing well. And you got to give him a lot of credit, because Sean Payton's offense is not simple to understand. So he'll be a good quarterback for the Broncos going forward. And really, I mean, being a Chiefs fan, and I look at the AFC West, and it's like it's better when oh, I got a text that came through. Hang on one second. I think I need to turn off my phone so that way it doesn't mute when somebody calls or texts through. But the AFC West is better when the Broncos are doing good. So let's see what else we got here. But it's going to be a great season. Yeah, Vivian, I feel the same way. It's really nice, and I love being out here in these wide open expanses. We'll go outside here in a second and check it out. But I'm really excited for winter camping. I'm surprised the tent cleaned up so well. It was really in bad shape. The only thing I need to do now is correct the front zipper. But I can kind of shut it with duct tape, and then I'm going to get some good Velcro and just sew it into the flap that goes over, so that way I can at least close the flap on there. But last night it got down to, I think it was 11 last night, and it was nice and warm in here. So, oh, hey, what's up, Danya? All right, cool. Yeah, let me know how Priya does. I'm interested. I definitely want to know the results of that. So hopefully everything goes well. Let's see. I'm going winter camping in a couple weeks. Cool. Mobile Tech. That's awesome. What type of tent do you have? And are you camping with the stove, or are you roughing it? Because I've done some winter camping without a stove, and I can say I probably won't be going back to that. So, Marcio, hey, what's going on? Let's see. Greetings from Colorado, my friend. Nice to see you looking healthy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better these days. I've been working out a bunch too. I'm in like probably the second month of my workout program, and eating real good, and not smoking pot. Decided to stop doing that, and even just on a random occasion, I don't do that. And then also no drinking beer or IPAs. Even though I love IPAs, that's just not going to happen. So I want to get in really good shape by the time I'm 50. like super good shape. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a workout program from bodybuilding.com, and I've done it before. And when I did it before, I gained 18 pounds of muscles. So I definitely want to get back to that, because I literally had people like I'd have girls walk up to me at bars and they'd be like, "Here's my phone number," and I'm like, "Whoa, this is crazy." So the program that you do though, it's pretty awesome, because it tells you exactly what to do every day for your workout. And then let me pull this up here and I'll show you. What I really like is I always had a hard time figuring out the eating portion of working out, but they lay it all out for you real simple. So if you're looking to get in shape, it's kind of a dumb, it's a dumb name. It's called Get Swole, but it's from bodybuilding.com. You can download it for free, and it'll walk you through a 3-month program. And it's what it is. It's like muscle confusion, and so you're doing different workouts every month to gain the maximum amount of benefit. And then you also take like blockchain amino acids, creatine, protein shakes, stuff like that to help you along. And I can tell you, after that first 3 months that I did it, I was floored at the results. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that, because now that my health is good and like the parasite effects are gone, I can go ahead and just crank on getting back into shape. Because when I first hit the road, I was in extremely good shape. I could hike like 15-20 miles a day every day and it was no issue. But now that's not the case, because I was knocked down so far with that parasite that I had. But it's a good thing that's gone, that's over with now. And check this out, Meadow's sleeping. Look at this. Look at that little cutie. What are you thinking there, Meadow? So, but the tent's holding up good. Like I said, everything in here is going well. And it's the thing is with this stove. Yeah, Vivian. Yeah, I found it to be pretty easy. The thing is like I've got allergies pretty bad, and I started realizing, I'm like, man, I just smoking that stuff, even if it's like a vaporizer or something, I still didn't feel I felt like my lungs were constantly getting overworked, and I was like, I'm kind of done with this. And plus too, the thing about pot is that it's kind of a demotivator, and then also too, it's kind of hard to stick to a diet like an eating plan, because you just want to just eat everything. I mean, that's why they call it the munchies. And I just decided, I was like, yeah, I think that's kind of over now. I just don't really feel like doing that. And just want to be real clear-headed going forward. And I feel like a bunch of good things are coming my way, just with the health improving and all that stuff, and the tent being back up and running. Meadow's doing good, and I just want to capitalize on that. And so that's why I decided to go on the straight and narrow and just drink water, and that's about it. And of course coffee too, but the coffee would be like my only vice, really. So but let's go outside real quick. The sun's starting to go down. I want to show you guys the camp area here. And real quick here, Metaglypto, you said I have a shift pod and a Propex. Oh, nice. That's really nice. Yeah, those Propex heaters are good. That's what Baron and Elsa have at their A-frame at their place. And it's all good. So Gabrielle thank you. I appreciate that for hitting the like button. All right, let's go outside, and then we'll do a little tour around the campsite here. And there's a little area where there's these tiny baby brook trout, and I got them on film this afternoon. I put my GoPro under the water, and they were swimming all in front of it and stuff. It's really cool video. So I'm going to include that for tomorrow's upload. I've got a video almost ready to go. I just got to edit the rest of it. There's probably about 30 minutes of footage that I need to whittle down to like 5 minutes. And then once I have that done, I'm going to upload that this evening, and that'll be available tomorrow morning. But I'm really pleased with things here. I was going to try to go to a different campsite, which was supposed to get a lot of snow. The area where I'm at now, didn't get as much. We just got like maybe like an inch, but just high winds all day. But the other area I was going to go to, I rolled up to this trail, and I got literally almost, I would say, a quarter of a mile from the site. And there's this road that goes down through this creek and comes back up this way. And it's just like a shelf road. And it was pretty much all covered with the snowdrift. It was like a 4-foot snowdrift. And I could have shoveled it out, but I thought, that's way too much effort, and I'm not going to be doing that. So thank you, Elena. Thanks for tuning in for all this time. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited to get back out and being in Colorado, winter camping. I love doing that. But then I'm also going to go to Flagstaff in March and winter camp there, because I don't know if people realize this, and I was shocked to learn this, but this year, in 2024, Flagstaff is considered the snowiest city in America, because from last winter, like in January up until May, they were getting clobbered with snow. And it always impresses me. I started looking back on my videos about where I would go to, or where I experienced the most snow, and like out of the top 10 snow videos I have, like 7 of them are near Flagstaff because it's just amazing how much snow they get. So somebody asked a question about Meadow here. Do Meadow sleeps more at high? Not really. It's just that we've been running around so much, and so cool. We got Wes and Bart in the house. What's going on? How you guys doing? So, yeah, we've got Meadow doesn't sleep more up here. She's just been running around a bunch all day because I was outside doing stuff, and she's so funny. She finds bones everywhere we go, you know, obviously, and Sierra used to do the same thing. And so she'll munch on these bones and come over and show them to me, and she gets all excited and runs around and everything. So it's really cool to see her just having so much fun. So, see, up here in Canada, temperature is -12. Oh yeah, so what's that like? See, -12 would be. That'd be about 4 or 5 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. I'm trying to remember. No, it'd be more than that. No, it'd be about 3 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. So, the costume, that's funny. All right, let's go outside. I gotta put my shoes on real quick, and so I'll take the tripod over here. Pumpkin, you wanna go outside with us? Huh? You wanna go outside and go walk around real quick? See, Bri from Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, that's cool. I think that I was talking to a buddy of mine that is a nomad, and we're thinking about doing a fall trip out to Charleston and hanging out there. And one of his buddies has a place on the ocean, and said like, yeah, you know, he's got a bunch of land. He's like, yeah, you can come camp at our place, and you know, vehicle camp and stuff like that. So may go out there. I want to see all the history in Charleston. You know, I love the South for the history. My brother lives in currently lives in Franklin, Tennessee, but he's moving out in the country. And it's just cool to go there and see all the Civil War stuff and things. And the history goes back much further there than out west. So it's kind of neat. Because like where I'm at in Arizona, I mean, that area didn't get settled until like 1890, you know, and the East Coast had plenty of people out there before then. Are you coming out here, Pumpkin? Come on out. Let me get my shoes on. So, all right, let's go out here. I gotta put my shoes on real quick. We're gonna check out the creek, look at the sunset, and then we're gonna come back inside and chat a little bit. So, all right, let's go here. Go. You ready? Let me see. Let me get down here. I know. Hang on. You gotta let me zip it open first. Here we go. All right. So there's the mountains right there. Here's our stream next to camp. So the little baby trout I filmed were right there, and it was really cool to capture them. They swam right in front of the camera, and like these are the clouds that have been kind of coming around all day. If we look up over here, let me show you. If you look up over here, you'll see what's coming next. We've got another storm front coming in, so that's coming in right there. Let's see that storm front. So that's hitting the pass where I was gonna camp. I was gonna camp up there, but like I said, I couldn't get into the area. And so yeah, the sunsets around here are amazing. The mountains, they get like a blood red kind of tint to them at night, right before the sun goes down. And it's amazing to be out here. This is an area of Colorado that's not that much, that's not very densely populated at all. There's a couple towns around here, but they're pretty small. And whenever I camp out here, I never see anybody, which is nice. There's one person that comes up to this location, but they live right down the road. So, hey, what's up, Ben Smiley? How's it going? Hope everything's going good in New Zealand. Vivian, let's see, it's 50 here in Brooklyn. Oh man, that's warm for this time of year up there. So, but we're supposed to get real high winds tonight. The winds are supposed to be up to 45 miles an hour. And so that's what's blowing in right now. And did a bunch of camp chores, got everything done, and then we're just gonna chill in the tent for the rest of the night, because once it gets this windy and this cold out, you know, it's gonna be gnarly. So, all right, Pumpkin, let's go inside here. Actually, I want to show you guys something first. There's a little waterfall over here, and what's cool is as the temperatures drop more and more, we get these little icicles that form all over the. Oh wow, there's fish jumping down here. There were fish jumping right. Oh. Sorry about that, folks. I hit the mic button. All right, come on, Pumpkin. You want to come inside? Let's get some treats. Come here. Come here. Come here, sweetie. There you go. Good girl. All right, we're gonna head inside. So it's really, really, really windy out there. All right. Come down here. Man, good looking dog. Yeah, thank you, Moonbeam. This is Meadow's a Belgian Malinois. I thought I was getting an Aussie Shepherd mix. Go ahead, sweetie. But that's not the case. She's a Belgian Malinois, which is okay. You know, I'm just gonna try to continue working with her because she's a little bit standoffish with people, which, you know, in my situation, that's not ideal because I'm single, live out in the middle of nowhere, and it's hard to socialize her because I can't drive to town every day, you know, to get around people. But gonna do the best I can to get her going. Let's see, is the sound still not there? Let's see. Are you in the Sangre de Cristos? Yeah, I sure am. Kujd, I'm in Sangre de Cristos. Also, too, check this out. So I got all these hardwoods over here, and there's a bunch inside as well. And I got that in Kansas for $40, which is really a smoking deal when it comes to hardwoods. So last night I only like when I was using pine and aspen and also like cedarwood let's go in here. When I first started winter camping out here, I go through like 30 pieces of wood a night. And last night I only went through 7 with the hardwoods. So there's a wood broker that is up in Chaffee County, and they have hardwoods. They have like 17 different types of woods, and it's a little expensive just due to the fact that they get that shipped in every year. And but they're really cool people. They're named Gladys and Harry, and I'm gonna go over and say hi to them. I've always bought wood from them, and they're really cool. So somebody's asking how the Tacoma's running. It's running really good. Got a bunch of stuff done to it. There's quite a few repairs as of late. When I was over at the Mogollon Rim fly fishing, the truck was just running real bad. It was misfiring and stuff like that. And so we come to find out we had to replace all the coil packs and everything like that. But it's running like a champ, so I'm really stoked. And then we got the suspension dialed in. So like my buddy Tyler Hughes and his team over at Findlay Toyota in Flagstaff, they just did an excellent job with it. So somebody was asking if hardwood is the same as fatwood, and it's not. But the fatwood will burn as long as hardwood would, as long as hardwood will. And so if you can find fatwood, you know, you can throw it in your stove. And then the fatwood smells really good too, because it's just pine sap that is going in. But well, you can get fatwood in other woods too, not just pine. But that's primarily where I find it, because I live in a pine forest area. But really, let's see, Taco's dad. No, yeah, Tyler's a bike. So that Tyler's a bike is my buddy Tyler Hughes that runs the Toyota department. He's a good friend of mine, and up at Findlay Toyota in Flagstaff, and they totally dialed in my truck. I mean, like, with the amount of weight that I had in my truck coming out here, with all that wood, there was like a half a rick of wood, and then all my camping gear and all that stuff. I mean, I was still floored that it was just trucking along just fine. And gas mileage was a little low just with all the gear in there, but it was all good. So I can see how this wind is blowing. So yeah, the wood fire still feels great, especially with the hardwoods on here. And I need to probably stoke it again here. Let's see. Let me grab my glove. Actually, I'll just use mine. Let's see over here. So let's see. Oh yeah, we definitely need to put some more wood in there. So hang on a second. I'm gonna grab the tripod, which is out here, so I can put you all on that, and then I will throw some more wood in there. I know it looks like I also need to clean the lens. It looks like the lens might have a smudge on it or something. So hang on, Meadow. I'm coming in there, girl. Coming in, sweetie. All right. All right, there we go. Don't worry, girl. Don't worry. I'm right here, sweetie. Okay. She's always at attention whenever I leave and go somewhere. So somebody was talking about the Belgian Malinois. Yeah, I you know, she's really good. She's really good with other dogs, which is kind of interesting because typically Belgian Malinois are not. But she's had like this nervous tick around people recently, and I'm hoping I can get a handle on that, just because, you know, I want to be more social. I put my life on hold when Sierra passed, or when Sierra got sick, and I totally am glad that I did that, because I feel like, you know, I gave her as much attention and love as possible before, you know, we had to say goodbye. And so now I want to be more social, and that's one of the challenges I'm having with Meadow, and I think I can work through it. But that's one of the challenges I've had is that she's got this nervous tick in her to where she'll just her personality will flip on a dime, and she'll be fine with people, and all of a sudden it just boom for like a couple minutes, and then it flips back, and then she's fine again. And during that time when her personality changes, it's kind of unsettling because she has like a low growl and stuff like that, and she's a Belgian Malinois. I mean, they're strong animals, they're strong dogs, but it could also be, like a confidence issue, and that's what her trainer thinks it is that it's just a confidence issue. So we're working to build her confidence up. And what I do with that is I just always reassure her throughout the day, always petting on her, all that stuff, giving her as much love as possible. And also too, a little bit of CBD helps because I've got this CBD. I'll grab it here. I'll show it to you. It's right here. I found this CBD to be really good. It's called Possible, and it's a chicken flavored. It says Possible Love, and it's a CBD. If I give her 2 doses of this, she's the most chill dog on the planet. Now she's probably a little sedated, obviously with the CBD. But when I give that to her and we're around people, she's fine. So I'm just gonna keep that handy and keep working with her and keep socializing her, and then we'll be good to go. And yeah, she's very protective. I mean, that's the Belgian Malinois kind of. That's a trait. They're very smart. They're one of the smartest dogs. She is, or they're very active, all that stuff. So let's see. Somebody was saying she sounds bipolar. Yeah, that was one thing I was thinking. I was wondering if that was the case. So, but I'm gonna keep working with her, and it could just be puppy, because puppies are crazy. We got up north of 60 here. What's going on, man? Happy New Year. I've been checking out your channel lately. I've been seeing you going out winter camping again. So that's awesome to see you on here, man. Thanks for tuning in. So, trying to be the alpha, you have to take her down. Sure, he's alpha. Yeah, Sally, I've done that too. And the thing is like, it's not horrible that with the way she's acting, but it's just something that I need to keep an eye on, because I want to make sure I can trust her in every situation. And like I said, she's still a puppy. And I mean, imagine being a puppy that came from a bad home, and then all of a sudden you get to go out in nature every day, and stuff like that. So she goes ballistic in nature, which is fun. And she's a good dog. I mean, she's very sweet to me, and she was great with my mom's dog when we went back to Kansas to go visit for the holidays. And we were kind of concerned about that because we didn't know how they'd interact, and they got along great. And Meadow loves every single dog that she comes across. Happy New Year to you too, Andrew. She, like, when I go to camp with Larry from Work Less, Enjoy Life More, it's kind of funny because Meadow and Marty's like a 6-pound dog. They're like best friends, and they play nonstop. And it's funny, there's like this fence that Larry will put up, and it's only about, like, it's not even waist tall. And like, Meadow could easily jump over it, and she just sits there and just like, well, I guess I can't get to Marty. And they just sit there and run around. Like, Marty will run around the interior of the gate, like the gated area or fenced in area, and then Meadow will run around that. So it's kind of funny to see her playing with such a small dog, but she's really gentle with it, which is great. And so I think that it's just the socializing with people, and also too, I have to remember like I was just gonna say that, Doug, she needs a lot of activity. And so that's where the e-bike that I just got has come into handy. I can take her on a run. I take her on runs like 3 times a day, really. And then once I do that, she's good. So I think there's a lot of energy inside of her, and as long as I'm able to kind of address that, I think we'll be in good shape. But she also is very protective of her human, and I'm her human. And so if anybody comes around, she has to think that she's going to protect me. And so I just need to work with her on that, just to make sure that she understands that these people are friends. And then, but it's nice to have a dog though that is vocal, because Sierra never made a sound. She never barked or anything. And me living in the middle of nowhere out there on that property, I want to know when people are coming around. And so she's alerted me before when people have been coming up or close to the property and I didn't hear them. And so it's nice to kind of have that guard dog aspect, because you never know who's going to roll up on you out there. Now, granted, not very many people roll around that area, just due to the fact that everything looks private. And so I've seen a lot of people like pull into the area and then turn around and leave, just because all the signs we have up to say private property, no wood cutting, all that stuff. And so, but it's just, I want to have protection. So let's see, we've got Dwayne in here. Hello from Navajo Dam, New Mexico. Oh, right on. Dude, I drove through New Mexico on the way to Kansas, and I stopped off in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and stayed at the historic Plaza Hotel. that is such a cool place. I mean, I was floored at how awesome that is. And I've actually got, I'll show you here on the video. I've got a little bit of the video that I'm editing at the current moment. I start out with us at the Plaza Hotel. And keep in mind, this is like a historic hotel that was built in the 1800s, all that stuff. It was only $79 a night for a really nice room. And so it looks like that right there. $79. It's called the Plaza Hotel. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada, or Las Vegas, New Mexico. So that's a really cool. And that town has like so many properties that are on the historic district, and or in the historic register. And then they have like a little downtown area that hasn't rehabbed yet, but you can tell that like it's prime for like really cool coffee shops and maybe like a tavern or something like that, and some restaurants. And if that ever happens to that town, I mean, I'd definitely consider spending a lot of time out there, because I was impressed with Santa Fe, New Mexico. And then driving, through the northern part of northern New Mexico and cruising into Oklahoma and Kansas, it's just these neat old towns that are like farm towns. And there's the main streets on those farm towns from the 1800s. I've always loved those. That's what I loved about growing up in Kansas, is I could go to like southeast Kansas or western Kansas or just a little bit north of Wichita, and always run into these really cool downtown areas that are just like, it's like they're stuck in like the 1800s looking kind of feel, And so I just love the history aspect of that. But anyway, enough about that. Let's see here. Happy New Year from Phoenix. Says, oh, thanks. I to be at the Happy New Year to you too. Let's see here. She's gonna get great. Keep active also. Yeah, Carlos, that's definitely true. And like I said, as long as I keep her totally engaged and have her running all the time and all that stuff, then I think we'll be good. So Doug, are you in Salina? Because I used to roll up through Salina. I went to school at Kansas State up in Manhattan, and when I didn't feel like driving 177 through the Flint Hills Scenic Byway, I'd just take I-35 up to 70 and cruise over. And I'd always stop off in Salina for like lunch and stuff like that. Another cool town in Kansas is Hayes, Kansas. There's some pretty good mountain biking out there. And then over in the Flint Hills area of Kansas, which is actually a really pretty area of Kansas, it's just these hilly areas, and it's amazing. There's a national park out there that no one knows about. There's a town called Council Grove, and literally like half the town's on the historic register, and it's got like the last general store before you hit the Comanche Trail and all these different things. It's really cool. So they have a great pizza place down there. Oh, cool! I'll have to check that next time I go through that area. So. Let's see, same food. Oh yeah, somebody was asking about the food that I feed Meadow. And so what I've got, it's called Bold by Nature. And we had Sierra on OC Raw, but Bold by Nature is a little bit easier to work with, just because the way the packaging is, and it fits better in my fridge. And so Sandy and Roman from Prescott's Paws and Claws, they hook her up with like the chicken and all that stuff. And yeah, Travis, Wilson Lake in Kansas is awesome. I mean, you go out there, you're like, this is in Kansas? It's really cool. And the mountain biking around there is amazing. And the fishing's good, and the boating's good, and all that stuff. That's a cool area. And I like Hayes. I've got some family that lives out in Hayes. So every time I roll through Kansas, I think like one of these days, I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever move back here. Because I do have a draw, like something draws me to those cool, older farm communities, which I think are really cool. So hang on a second. I'm going to turn on my lights. It's starting to get a little bit dark in here. So hang on just a second. We're going to shut the front door here, so hang tight. All right, that's good for now. So, but here's how the tent is set up at the moment. Got it to where, got a little table over there. I've got Sierra's ashes on the table. My fridge and power station are right here. Got the Dometic, and then the power station I'm using the EcoFlow. Then of course the remote control truck, which is right there on the ground. And then we've got the cot here, which is Meadow's favorite nap spot. And then I'm using the Hess sleeping pad on this cot, and this is the Cabela's Outfitter XL cot, which is pretty wide. And the only problem with that, with it being wide, is that eventually it gets real concave after you sleep on it for a while. Every cot does that, but this one is a lot more than normal, just because it's such a wide cot. And so having the Hess sleeping pad on here, I double it up, and it's an 8-inch sleeping mattress. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm sleeping like a champ. on this thing. And this comes out of the Tune camper that I have on my truck. And so it's kind of nice that I can just, you know, grab that, pull it in here, and we're good to go. So let's see, Wes, what are you cooking us for dinner? I don't know tonight. I think I'm thinking pork tenderloin with sweet potatoes and asparagus in the cast iron, but I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So see, the tent looks so much bigger for some reason. Yeah, you know, once you get in here and you realize like how much big this is, it's really nice. And you know, that was the reason why I didn't continue with the canvas tent from Ellis Canvas Tents. And that's a good tent, and I don't have anything bad to say about it. But it's just that, you know, for filming and doing winter stuff, there was only like 4 angles that I could film from, just because with the way the tent was set up. And so I just decided, you know, that I still have the tent and I'm not going to get rid of it, just because I think it'd be kind of fun to invite friends out and then they could stay in the hot tent and then we could chill in here, you know, but then when they want to go do their hot tent experience, they could use the Shackleton from Ellis Canvas Tents. But it's just I found it to be a little too small for me. It's probably because I got the 11 by 11 size. If I would have bought the 14 by 14, it would have been a lot better. But the one thing that I had a problem with was the stove being in the middle with such a small tent, and with the way the walls sloped up pretty rapidly, you kind of didn't have a lot of headroom in there. Like you kind of just only had headroom around the stovepipe and like the center pole, and I just found that I like the stove over in the corner. For me, it just makes living in this easier. It makes like an open area to where you can walk around much easier. And then if you look at my tent here on the Bighorn 3, I mean, we look up top. There's a big old ridge pole right there that goes like that, and that's 8 feet 6 inches of headroom, and at the peak. And actually, it's got to be more than that. It's probably more like a little over 9 feet. But and then it just tapers out like this, so it gives you tons of headroom around here. That's unobstructed, which I wanted. And also, after being in this for over, let's see, 7.5 years of doing full-time winter camping in it, I'm just used to doing this. I know exactly how to set it up. I know what area to set it up in. I mean, I've got all the spots dialed in. And I was kind of concerned because I haven't been out winter camping for like 2 years in this thing. I thought, oh man, I wonder if my spots will be blown up when I get to Colorado. There's no one around. So I'm like, all right, cool. Winter camping still hasn't blown up here yet. So anyway, let's see what we got for some comments here. So let's see. Just bought the 1/16 Abrams. Oh, that's cool, Meadow. That sounds cool. Let's see, caught on the other side. Nah, Travis, like you want it over here. You don't want it over there. So there's not enough room. And then let's see. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Steve, let's see. The tent is awesome and have great ideas. Meadow chilling, cool beans. Let's see, Sally's. I like that tent to the size. Placement of the stove. Yeah. That's why I like it too. It just feels like it's a more functional space, and you know, it's just one of those things to where when you're winter camping and you're confined in the space just due to the weather, like you want to have a little bit of room to operate. You know, because I can actually stretch out all through here. I can put my yoga mat down, do all my stretching and stuff like that. I couldn't do that in the Shackleton because it was too tight. And but the one thing I will give the Shackleton mad props for is you can set that thing up in about 5 minutes, which is crazy. I mean, the way they designed it is really effective for being on the go and stuff like that. But Steve, yeah, you know, you can stand up, and that's the big perk, because on the Shackleton I was always bending over just slightly, and my back was killing me by the end of the season. So, but and another thing too about the Shackleton, which I wish they would change, is that the sides of it, like the doors on both sides, they're not made out of canvas, and so it snaps in the wind like normal tent material. I'm thinking that kind of defeats the purpose of having a canvas tent, you know, if you're going to be sitting there and using you know, tent material for the doors. And so I just think that it would be best if they would change that, because then it would be a really quiet tent. Otherwise, it just snaps in the wind and it can drive you nuts. So, all right, let's see here. We got another. What hardwood are you burning? Let's see. I've got black walnut. I've got oak. I've got hedge. I've got a little bit of cedar, and then I got a little bit of pine too, just to start up, because you know, with hardwoods, sometimes it's hard to get them going from the get-go. So if you get a bit pine going, which is really easy to start as far as start on fire, once you get a bed of coals, you just throw your hardwood over it, and you're set, and it starts up right away. So, but I'm really impressed with this wood. Like I said last night, I only used 7 pieces the entire night, and it was a cold evening. Like it wasn't warm or anything like that. So, contrast that with the aspen or pine, and that was like 30 pieces of wood a night. You know? So that's a lot more biomass to go through. You're up stoking the stove a lot more. And with the hardwoods, I mean, I could
I could pretty much set the damper on low and just load that firebox up. And then once I did that, we're getting 5-6 hour burns out of it. So, how many days of provisions do you have usually with you, Almy Ross? Usually 2 weeks worth, and I try to coordinate that with my wood too. Like I know for the wood that I get from the wood broker here in the area that I can go anywhere from 10 to 14 days with it. So I try to match up my food with that, and then once the wood's out, we just move to a different spot, and that way I can stay like in front of the 14 day limit for camping, and then with the food, you kind of run out of all of your perishables the first part of like the first week, and then after that you do a lot of dry foods. So like oatmeal or backpacking meals or stuff like that. But I don't really like to leave camp and go run a bunch of errands because I got a lot of stuff out here, and I don't think that. I mean, I'm not super concerned about somebody rolling up and stealing stuff because generally speaking, people are pretty respectful of camping sites and stuff like that, and people's gear. But you never know, and I don't want to have it to where, I come back and all my stuff has been taken. So, Happy New Year, Brian and Meadow. When it comes, oh yeah, thanks, and Smile. I appreciate that. That's a good. We had another comment here. Do you harvest your? I don't know. What were you wondering about that, Peter? Seems like it cut off there. Greetings from Cologne, Germany. Ah, right on. That's cool. I'd love to go over to Germany sometime. I've got a friend that's been to Berlin a bunch, and he said it's just such a killer town. So, but we'll be in Colorado until probably the first week of March, and then after that we're going to switch over to Flagstaff because that's when Flagstaff really starts getting pounded is in March with these storms that dump like feet at a time. And so I'm excited to get back over there. The only thing is that with Flagstaff is you got to make sure that the temperatures are cold enough to where it's freezing all day, and you don't want it to start thawing out because the soil out there can get really really messy because it's that volcanic type of soil. And so, unfortunately, in a tent like this, it's like you got to have tarps down, lots of tarps down for operating in conditions like that. But you can just get absolutely clobbered with snow. And I love it too with those tall ponderosa pines. I just think it's cool to see the snow all over them. Flying the drone over those and stuff like that, especially when the snow starts falling off of them when the wind's going, it's just so cool. So, Peter, no, I didn't harvest my own wood. I went to a wood broker in Valley Center, Kansas, before I left that area when I was visiting my family, and got wood from them. And then I did do it one year where I harvested my own wood because you could get a permit from the Forest Service for a cord of wood, and at that time it was $10. I don't know what it is now, but I did that for one winter, and I will never do that again, just because it was so much work. And a lot of it I was doing like my chainsaw if I ran out of gas, because that was back when I had gas chainsaws. Now the electric ones are a little bit easier to keep going, just with the solar power out here and stuff like that. But with the gas one, when the gas run out, I chop with the axe. And I don't know if y'all recall when I had both tennis elbow and golfer's elbows. That's on both sides of your elbows on both arms, and I couldn't even use my hands by the end of the season. I was like, "Yep, I'm not doing that again." I was like, "I'm gonna go pay for the wood that somebody else, collected and chopped up and processed and everything." So that's what I do for the winter, just to save time and also save my body, so that way I don't roll into spring like a crippled person, because that literally took like 6 months for those ligaments or whatever they are to heal in my elbows, and during that time I couldn't operate. So, can you show us at some point your 2 weeks of firewood provisions? Oh yeah, hey Zach. Okay, cool. Just curious on the weight. Yeah, so right now, I don't know if I can get a full 2 weeks out of this hardwood that's here, but when I do go to the wood broker and get more wood, then I'll definitely, we'll do a live stream about that. But I think that I can probably get by with at least 10 days with this amount of hardwood right here. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but the pieces are huge, and it's there's some pieces behind there too, and so I think I'll be able to get by with that for about 10 days. Because like I said, um, last night I only used 7 pieces. So see, not much trees or dead trees in Arizona. Oh, there's a ton, William, up north. Like if you go to like the Flagstaff area, man, you can get it. I mean, the ponderosa shed so much biomass, and the only thing about them is it's pine, so you gotta load your stove a lot, but it's everywhere, And there's a lot of dead stuff that's on the trees. Like if you saw my last video where I was talking about the fat wood, that's what I'll do if I'm up there camping. Is I'll actually harvest the fat wood, because the fat wood burns for so much longer, and it smells great. It smells like pine sap, and so the only thing about that is you got to make sure
that you've got your airflow kind of a little bit more open than usual. Like don't want to turn it down real low because that pine sap can turn to creosote on your stovepipe, and that's that can be kind of it can build up and it can catch on fire. So let's see, 30 sheets of plywood at my mining claim, Paradise, California. Came back. Oh man, Steve, that'd be so frustrating, man. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. So, and sorry, please. Yeah, and it's not as hot. It's not as hot as the hardwoods. The hardwoods are so hot. Like you really gotta watch your airflow on your stove, because if you let it just roll, it can get real warm. So, does Eastern red cedar burn well? Yes, Travis, it does. The only thing about it is that some of the cedars, it can be a little bit noxious, and can cause some breathing problems, like with like junipers, the Eastern red cedar. And so it can be a little bit like if somebody has a breathing problems, or like say they got some lung issues or something like that, you probably don't want to burn that. You may want to choose something else, just because it can give them breathing problems. I've never experienced it, but and I use it because I've got juniper out at my place, and that type of cedar wood does emit a little bit of a noxious type of smoke, but I've not found it to be a problem. Like it doesn't bother me, which is surprising because my allergies are really bad. So I'm surprised that that's like that. So, but other than that, like I said, we're just chilling here for a while. My buddy Steve Billstad, who just got a tuned camper on his Tundra, is coming out tomorrow, and we're gonna kick it for a little bit. And then I was talking about Barron. There's a pizza joint in the area that's really good, and we're gonna go to that pizza joint here soon. Probably after the new year, I would think, and then we're gonna do an evening there. And then Elsa, she's due in February, like their baby's due. So there's Steve right there. I was just talking about you, man, with your Tundra. I can't wait to see that tomorrow, man. These tuned campers. So Steve got the tuned camper on a first gen Tundra. It looks awesome, and I'm interested to see how much room there is, especially with those bump outs on the side, because in my bed, it's only a 5-foot Tacoma bed, and it gives us just those bump outs make it feel so much bigger. And then having the bed over the cab and not having it come into the bed of the truck is such a game changer for those 5-foot beds. So yeah, Steve. So yeah, just hit me up when you're leaving tomorrow, and I'll be down here, and then we can kick it. And you're welcome to hang for the evening too. Like I don't have any plans, so you're welcome to kick it as long as you'd like. So yeah, the Theracane's great. There's some hot springs in the area down here, and so that's where I'll take this, down to the hot spring with me, and it's like you can get in real deep with the muscles and stuff like that, and I like that. So let's see, Williamson. I kind of missed the old tent. Yeah, that's the thing is, it was pretty emotional setting this up. I was tore up. I just missing Sierra so much because she was such an important part of my life, and just such a great companion. I mean, I could not have asked for a better companion out here. And we shared a pretty unique life, back in 2015 when we hit the road, there wasn't a whole lot of people 4x4 truck camping. I mean, there were on the weekends, but not like we were. They weren't out full time. And so I would do it to where I would, my YouTube channel hadn't taken off then, so I was still doing like landscaping work and side jobs for ranchers in the area. So I'd set up all my work on the weekends, because that's when everybody, that's when all the areas that I like to camp were slammed, and all the fishing spots were slammed. And then come Sunday night, I'd just be rolling back out to the forest and just spend the entire week out there with Sierra, and we had a blast. I mean, the places we went to, I mean, there was no one around, no one. And we roamed all over the Southwest for 7.5 years before her cancer, before her cancer diagnosis. And I just really am thankful for that time, because I think like what a unique experience to have. And I don't think that, I mean, you can go out 4x4 truck camp now, and you can still get away from people and all that stuff, but I do notice more people out now. And so we kind of hit it before it got popular, and I'm probably one of the reasons it got popular, so I have to blame myself for that. But moving forward, I'm thinking that see what's saying, I'm digging new bumper stickers. Thanks, man. But I'm thinking moving forward next year, I'd like to try some new spots, for truck camping, and make some new memories with this little one right here. And what I'm thinking is that we'll probably go to the Eastern Sierras in California, because the Eastern Sierras doesn't have a lot of people over there, and there's great places to fish, and really, really, really good trout, like the Western Paiute cutthroat. Like that's the rarest trout in the world. You have to hike 20 miles to the area where it's located, but I'll do it because I want to catch that fish. And then you've got you've got golden trout everywhere. You've got what's called the Lahoken trout, I think is what it is. They can grow up to 4 feet. Like I'm like that's like a miniature dolphin. That's huge. I couldn't imagine catching a trout that big. And then you have the Owens River Valley, and it's just the rainbows on the Owens River. That's one of the most gorgeous rivers on the planet. And then I could operate out of Bishop, which is a decent sized town out there. It's one of the decent sized towns that's over on the eastern Sierra side, and I'd be set. So I think I'm going to do that for probably the first half of the summer, and then the second half of the summer probably roll to Colorado, and then maybe do the fall out east somewhere like Charleston, and go visit my brother in Nashville and stuff like that. I haven't seen him in a long time, so it'd be cool to kind of go out there. So that's kind of the plan for next year. And then now that I got the Tune camper and everything's dialed in with it, I just want to, all I need to do is do like a summer build out for it, because it's going to be geared around fly fishing. And then I'll be carrying minimal gear, and I can just be on the go nonstop. Because, I've noticed when I have the diesel heater in the truck, I set it up outside the truck. And so, there's a little bit of a breakdown, time required and setup time required. But if I don't have to do that, I mean, you pop that Tune camper up and down, nothing flat, and you're jamming. So let's see. Somebody's asking something. How are you getting the bit rate to stream this? It's just it's Starlink. So great to see you back in the hot tent camp. Thanks. Thank you for that, Austin YZ man. Let's see, race banning folks. I appreciate that. Notice a piece of quiet, cutting city ties. Yeah, and that, I mean, honestly, I think with what has gone on in society for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, just with like, it being harder to work for companies, you kind of feel like you're just a number. Taxes continue to go up. The rent in cities now is unreal. I couldn't imagine paying, the prices that they're asking for like just a 1-bedroom apartment and stuff like that. It's nuts. And, mobile technology now has gotten a lot better. And also off-grid technology like Starlink, makes it to where you can stay connected even if you're in an area that doesn't have any cell reception. And I just really, I'd encourage people, if you're thinking about getting out of the city, just start putting one step in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, and get out there, because it's something I'm really glad that I did. The reason why I went out, camping in my truck was I was tired. I had a sign business that I ran. I was so tired of these clients never paying me on time, and my cash flow was always messed up. And it's like, had they paid me on time, I would have been crushing it. But they never paid me on time, so I always had cash flow issues, and I had to move money around and stuff like that. And I remember one day I was sitting there, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go camp for the rest of my life. I'm thinking, how in the world would I make money doing this? I was like, well, if I scale my life down enough to where I can scale my expenses up or down, but just get rid of all of my debt, and I've got my truck paid off, and the gear on it was all paid for. I didn't put anything on credit. I just paid cash for everything. I just realized I was like, okay, I can figure out a way. If I get out there, I'll figure out a way to make money. And for the first year, I thought that I would just find a cool mountain town to settle down in. But then after that first year came and went, I just kept jamming because Sierra and I were having so much fun. And then I came across that property in northern Arizona because there's a friend of mine that lives out there in that area, and I would stop off in there after the summer or the winter camping. I would stop off at his place because it was halfway between Colorado and California, because I'd be going out to the Super Bloom in Enza Borrego, which is there's this area in Southern California that's all desert. And right after these like right after the winter season, you go out there, and I'm not kidding you, for like 3 or 4 weeks, you've got flowers that pop up out of the ground that are like this tall, and it's as far as the eye can see. It's like waist high, and it's as far as the eye can see in these valleys. It's crazy. And there's some really great places to camp out there, so it's really cool to see that. It's just like this explosion of wildflowers, and then within a month they're gone. So like 11 months out of the year there's nothing out there, and then 1 month it's just crazy. So anyway, so I was over at my buddy Chad's place, and he was like, why don't you look for land out here? I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I think I will. And it was right after I had a really good winter on YouTube, and so I was able to pay cash for my land. And I actually looked at the parcel across the street, and the realtor that was showing it to me, that was his parcel. He goes, well, I haven't put the other parcel for sale, but I think you'd like this one better. And we walked across the street, and that's what the parcel I ended up getting. And I'm really pleased with that parcel, just because the views from up on that little hill are fantastic. It's been neat finding Native American artifacts around my place.
Northern Arizona, as long as you know how to operate like during the mud season, you're good. You know, during the wintertime, you just basically leave in the morning when things are still frozen and come back at night when it freezes up again. You don't go out during the day because the mud's too bad. But then when monsoon season hits, you just kind of hunker down while it rains. You know, but get a power washer at your place if you got to make a run to town and just your truck gets all muddy. Just come back and power wash it off, and you're good. And what is cool is a lot of these communities in northern Arizona, they have these community wells, and so they have what's called POA dues, which is very different from an HOA. And the POA dues, it's just basically in our area, it's just for our 4x4 trails because the county doesn't do our roads, we do our own roads, and so we maintain our own roads and then also get access to the well. Well, for my POA dues, it's only $92 a year, which is nothing. So that's really affordable, and the property taxes on my place are around $200 a year, which is insane. And so I'm literally halfway in between the Eastern Sierras and the Rocky Mountains. So I can go to the Rocky Mountains and fly fish, or I can go to the Eastern Sierras and fly fish. And then when I'm out at my place, it's just nice and quiet. And I've become addicted to that quiet, just environment. Like no one ever comes around. It's just I know everybody in the area. Really great people. We've got a small town nearby, which is great, and so it's all good. So Matthew Linder, I've got one of the guys at the Toyota dealership in Flagstaff is considering buying it. So I took it in there and um, had to get a few changes done or updates done to the steering, and it's all good to go now. So I should be hearing back from my friend at the Toyota dealership probably this evening, see if he wants to buy it or not. So, and if not, when I get back in the spring, I'll just go ahead and put an ad online for it and then do a video for it as well. And then if anybody wants to buy it, they can. So it's just unfortunate that Tyler Fisher, the guy from Colorado, that sold me the truck, who I thought was my friend. I mean, these kids have been in my videos a bunch. He'd been in my videos a bunch, all that stuff. Just completely lied about it and said, "Oh no, everything's fine with it. It's totally clean title." The person who was looking at it previously couldn't afford it. So that's why he didn't buy it. Well, come to find out, the previous person pulled the title or pulled the VIN, and I didn't because I thought I could trust Tyler. Well, can't trust that dude. He's just a snake. So just cut my losses with that and move on. And it's kind of interesting. I've talked to some friends of mine that are in the area, and they're like, no one hangs out with that dude anymore. I was like, well, looks like karma got him. Oh, and the money that he got from me for that to start up a small business, the business is already defunct. So I'm like, oh, that's karma coming back at you. So let's see. Sally, how much do you think you'll be asking? Probably around like 8,000 for it, I would think. Just with the salvage title, it's just hard. Sometimes it's difficult to insure them. You know, it really decreases the value of the truck and all that stuff. And so, let's see. I've heard many bad things about him. He was struck a lot. Yeah, Sally, I've heard a lot of that too. So, oh, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, man. So, but yeah, so it's got some good gear on the truck. It's just that it's got a salvage title, which is kind of crazy. So, but anyway, other than that, let's see what else we got going on. Like I said, gonna hang out with Baron and Elsa soon. Gonna kick up with my buddy Steve tomorrow night, and then just winter camp. And then like it looks like snow's gonna start showing up here the second week of January. So that'll be fun. We'll get into some good snow conditions. And Meadow this morning when we got out and it was snowing, she just went nuts. It reminds me a lot of Sierra, how Sierra used to go crazy in the snow. So Meadow's a good dog, and like I said, I'm just gonna keep working with her with the Belgian Malinois aspect of her personality, and we should be good to go. So hey, what's up, Corey? How you doing? Hey, I was talking with Northology on Instagram, and I'm thinking about hopefully maybe coming out to the Moore Expo this year. So if so, we gotta hang out. I'd love to hang out with you and Bill. And thank you so much for that blanket that you guys sent me after Sierra passed, with that picture that I posted when I announced that she had passed. I use that 100% when I'm in my truck, and so it's in my truck right now on the bed up there. And it's awesome to look at that picture all the time and just remember Sierra. So I just want to say thank you for that. It was a really nice gift from you guys. So, but I'll keep you posted about the Moore Expo if I go out there for that. And I got to get back to Northology on Instagram. They messaged me about that. So, but other than that, like I said, chilling and just gonna enjoy some winter camping and hopefully get you all some good content. So I'm filming every day, and got a video for you tomorrow. Editing a bunch of stuff, and we're hopefully my goal is to have 5 videos a week and 1 live stream, and then I'll take 1 day off. So it'll be 6 days of work and then one day of chilling. So, James, when will I be back to my property in AZ? Probably by the 1st of March. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to Flagstaff as the storms hit, like Flagstaff, Parks, that whole area, Garland Prairie, those places. They all get clobbered with snow. So come back, about the first part of March or maybe the second week of March, and then start doing all the camping up in Flagstaff. Excuse me. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and log off now. I want to get some dinner going because I'm really hungry and it's starting to get dark in here. So I think the camera, the video quality is not going to be that great. So, but thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're gonna be doing yeah, James, let's definitely go to the pizza joint when I get back. So, but we'll be doing a lot, at least one live stream a week. But if it's snowing a bunch in really crazy conditions, then I'll be doing more. And you can expect a lot of videos out of us. So anyway, so thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll do. I'll have another live stream in a couple days, and as soon as we get some more snow, we'll definitely do one then. And I've got another video for you tomorrow. So it's going to be coming out here and getting everything set up, and then our first night, and then our first morning out here. So, all right, thanks everybody. Appreciate the support. Without y'all, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.